This is Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow with another edition of Healthy Living. Many of you out there, I'm sure, love chicken fingers as my family does. So I want to show you an easy way to do it so that you can provide some healthy nutrition for your family in just a flash. So here I have a package of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. This particular package is about 4 pounds. Now, again, I always try and make things easy for you. So if you're one person, you can buy a large package of chicken. You can cut it up the way that you like it and then put the strips back into the freezer in individual serving packets so that you can pull them out when that you would like just a few. It's very easy to do, and I have done this on occasion and just pulled it out, made them for my children for breakfast. So you can see it's semi-frozen. I have a knife, and all I have to do, let me see which way my chicken breasts are going, this way. So all I have to do is start cutting the strips off. This block of semi-frozen chicken. It makes it very easy, as you can see. Some nice strips. And while it's semi-frozen, this is the time to be packaging if you don't want to use all your chicken at one meal. It goes very quickly. If you let them thaw, you're going to have an issue. You can also do your chicken this way for stir fries that you might like to do, or beef in the same way, any meats. Just slightly freeze it, semi-freeze it, and then you can do with it whatever you want. And our last strips here. Okay, and you can slice them as thick or thin as you would like. And then I have a bowl ready here. So we're just going to kind of break them apart. However the chicken breasts fall, where they can continue on thawing. And you can do them, you can fry them up when they're semi-frozen like this if you're in a hurry. Or, as I said, put some in your freezer, let them sit out a while and finish thawing. Whichever works for you. But you can see how quickly, and this is 4 pounds of chicken, how quickly we've got some ready-made chicken strips. Some are going to be different than others. But that's fine because they're homemade. That's one of my family favorites. Alright, quick wash my hands. And the next thing you want to do is you want to create some kind of a breading for them. And one of my suggestions for chicken is I have some coconut flour. And depending on how much you need, maybe start off roughly with, half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. Doesn't really take a lot, you'll see. And then you can add your seasonings in. I'm going to just add some black pepper. You can put in any kind of seasonings that you like. I like to put in a little salt. So probably about a half a teaspoon of pepper, closer to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Mix that all together, get the lumps out. And I have some dill here. You can also put in oregano, basil, anything that you like. Maybe a tablespoon or so of that, of dry seasoning. You just mix it all together. Now, I've done chicken fingers a number of ways. I used to dip everything in egg, and it's always very, very messy, and the coating is very thick, which I'm really not that thrilled about for myself. So all I do is I'm going to heat my oil. So over here in my pan, I've put in about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch of olive oil. I think I'll add a little bit more. Oops. And you have to heat it. Just going to turn that on high and let it get hot while I'm breading my chicken. So all I do is I just take my pieces of chicken and I just put them in the coconut flour. Gives them a really nice flavor. It's very low carb. And just start lining things up. It's pretty easy. It's not very messy. Piece that fell off, to just do what you need to do. Okay, now that you have enough for a batch, I usually like to take, say, a little tiny piece of chicken that's fallen off. I've got my oil over here heating on high, and I'm just going to put it in there until it starts to sizzle. And once it starts to sizzle a little bit, then I know my oil is hot enough to put the rest of my chicken in. And the other thing that's going to happen is when you start putting in those cold pieces of chicken, the temperature of your oil is going to drop. So I usually start it on high, and as the oil and the chicken gets hotter, then I start turning the heat of my burner down just a little bit. But to start with, everything is on high. So it looks like it's getting a good sizzle, so I'm going to go ahead. Remember, these pieces are kind of semi-frozen, so as they go in, it's going to drop that temperature of the oil down a bit. And also, the oil is going to start, or the flour is going to start absorbing some of the oil. So as that happens, you may want to add a little bit more oil to your pan, which will also decrease the heat. So when you add oil, you're going to want to be sure to leave your heat up high. And I fill my pan right up. And then as soon as these are on, I start coating the next batch. But it really doesn't take too long to do. It's simple. These are nutritious chicken fingers. A nice food for your family, whether for dinner or for a snack, or for yourself. So do it for yourself. Or if you're having a little gathering, you can cut your pieces a little bit smaller. And it's a fun thing for a gathering. You can put out whatever kind of dips you like. Ranch dips. I've shown you many different kind of dips through the years. Barbecue sauce. I've shown you my mustard sauce, the mustard dill sauce. There's a variety of things that you can use. And even if you're a person that likes sweet things, you can do a little bit of fruit that's been mashed up and cooked. Like a kind of a sweet and sour. You could do curry sauce with it. Peanut sauce, which I've shown you how to make using sun butter, of course, which is made from sunflower seeds. Okay, now as things are cooking, I'll just move them around a little bit. And of course they're shrinking up, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a couple more pieces. Kind of like fitting the puzzle together. I've still got my heat on high because the chicken is still very cold. I'm just going to continue to spread the rest of my chicken as I'm frying. Get everything ready to go on. You can just see how quick and easy it is. Okay, now you can see they're starting to brown, so I've turned the heat down a bit, and I'm just going to turn them over. They look beautiful. I'm going to turn my heat down to medium by now. You can see the oil's nice and hot and bubbly. I'm going to let these cook in the baths for a minute, but in the meantime I want to show you over here. I've laid out a couple paper towels on a cookie sheet just so when they do come out of the oil I can put them over here to drain. I'm going to tell you another little trick that you can do. I've got some broccoli here. I cut off the stem because I cut off the end, and inside of it, I cut out the core here, it's a nice tender piece of the vegetable that a lot of people overlook. You can throw that away and you can put this in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my broccoli ready, because when my chicken fingers come off the stove, that oil is going to be really flavorful with the juices from the chicken and the coconut and the seasoning that I have in there. And I'm actually going to put my vegetables in there, whatever you want. Today we're having broccoli, so it will give them a really nice flavor. So let's see, I think we have a couple of done. I do have a pair of tongs, but if you don't have that, yeah, those are nice and done. So I'm going to start moving them over to the pan. You see, they're really nice. Beautifully done. Well seasoned. Delicious family meal in just a few minutes. Or a party meal. Or a meal for one. You just fry a few smaller ones. Smaller batch, I should say. And you just keep right on going. Alright, so you can see I've got all the broccoli chopped up. I found a couple of mushrooms in the refrigerator to add in. And see, my chicken is just about ready to come off for the last batch. And in the meantime, I took this little bit of extra flour and I put it in a plastic bag and stuck a little broccoli in there just for fun. And when the chicken comes out, we're going to put those vegetables in and fry them up. They're going to be nice and tasty and crispy. So let's get the rest of this chicken off. You can see how nice that oil is in there. It's all filled with crumbs. I've got the heat on high. I'm going to turn that off for a minute because I don't want the oil to catch on fire, which it can if you leave it on too high without anything in it to absorb the heat. So, done. Quick, get all this stuff off. I'm going to shake. In fact, I'm going to leave a couple little bits in anyway for flavoring. And I'm going to take out some of this broccoli that I've already got going. Put it in there. And I'll just do this until I've used up all the flour. I'm not really trying to do anything fancy, just make good use of what I have. If you want to, of course, you can always make more. But this is just to give a little extra crunch and character to my meal. I'll throw a few of the mushrooms in there while I've still got some left. Put the flour. And those will go in. That's just a fun thing to do with your vegetables. And one last batch of broccoli, along with the stems that I've cut up into little pieces. You can also eat those raw. I like to put them in salad or sometimes just munch on them while I'm cooking the broccoli up. So, into the flour. And the end of the broccoli. And pour a little bit more oil in there. Looks like about the end of the oil too. Grab another container. We're going to turn that heat back up on high. Just run that around in the pan a little bit and you can see how nicely it's all starting to brown. Okay, made nice and crispy. Put more oil in there. Alright, I'm just going to let that sit for a couple of minutes. Add a little bit more oil to pick up all those crumbs off the bottom. And let me grab a bowl. And you can fry it as much or as little as you like. It's already nicely seasoned with your chicken, salt, pepper, coconut flour, dill. It's a delicious, delicious, easy meal. So I'm just going to plop it into our serving bowl. And there you have it. Another easy meal. So you've got your broccoli, you've got some mushrooms, you've got your delicious chicken fingers here. You're ready for a meal. So I want to thank you very much for joining me for another edition of Healthy Living with Diane Mourglia-Swerdlow for Expansions.com. Bye-bye now.